What up everyone, my name's Kavan, and on today's episode, I'm gonna show you how to shed off that creative funk or creative block, a slump, whatever you wanna call it. I feel this happens to a lot of us and that it's easy to sometimes get stuck in. I wanna tell you right now that you can get out of it today. I'm gonna show you some simple ways to recognize if you're stuck in a creative funk and how to get yourself out of it. Number one, self-doubt. There's a wide variety of things that can create self-doubt, but it usually stems from comparing ourselves to others. You may feel that your ideas aren't the best, that your equipment isn't the best, or that you just hate everything you do, like me. I know it's easier said than done, but in the end, none of that stuff matters. If you're a creative, you're doing it because it's a passion of yours, and you want to create your own stories and share your vision. One of my biggest tips is be your favorite artist. Trust yourself, and most importantly, have fun. Number two, the need to stay relevant. I feel like most of the time this is brought on by social media, as there's this need to constantly produce work, constantly produce content, and share it with the world. I'm telling you right now, that's not the case. You have all of the time in the world, regardless of what anyone says. This is you, this is your life, you're the one creating. So make the stuff that you want to see. Once you have work that you're proud of and you're ready to share, then make a plan of how you're going to share it with the world. But above all, the art comes first. Number three, boredom or stagnant. We all get this. You just become bored with shooting. Maybe it's because you've been shooting the same thing, or you're on an extended client job that just doesn't feel genuine to you. Sometimes you just gotta take a step back, put the camera down, go do something unrelated to photography, let the mind reset, and then get back out there. And the last one that I'm gonna cover today, even though I know there's a bunch, number four, the lack of ideas. It's easy to believe that we've used up all of our creative energy and we're never gonna take another good photo. I can promise you that's not the case. You're gonna take a lot more great photos. That's gonna happen. I was in a creative funk for about a month to a month and a half. I felt like I'd used everything in the gas tank and I was running on fumes. To change this, I grabbed some props, I went to a new location and started shooting. This is that shoot.
Today's shoot takes place at El Matador Beach in Malibu, California. I only had one concept prior to this shoot. It was the first photo I shot, and it's the one we're going to start with. I sketched out the image prior to shooting. The meaning behind the image is learning to accept the end, whether that be our own, a loved one, or the end of a relationship or friendship. This image will paint death in a positive light, while the subject will be fading into darkness. To create death, I wore a long cloak and stood on a Home Depot bucket. This bucket is surprisingly useful to have on shoots, and you can pick one up for less than $4. So we hit a few cool poses, and that's a wrap on the first image. Going into image 2, I had zero ideas, but I did have an outfit picked out, and I thought, I'll get some cool shots of the water crashing, and then I'll jump around and see what happens. Sometimes some of our best shots come from when we put ourselves into motion without knowing the end result. For the last image of the day, I grabbed a large yellow fabric that I got from Joann's Fabric for about 10 bucks. Got it wet, threw it over my body, and then as the saying goes, strike a pose.
So that does it for today's episode. Thank you all for joining. Be sure to subscribe if you liked it. You know, the button, I think it's over here somewhere. But subscribe and stay up to date with all the new videos that'll be coming out. And that does it for today's episode. See you next time.